Sup nerds! Another Thursday, another free game from Epic. This one will be available for you to pick up until February the 13th. And it is a game called Beyond Blue. It is an educational game, but still pretty immersive and interesting, for me anyways. Here you play as Mirai, a deep-sea researcher who focuses on whales but still investigates other marine life. The gameplay alternates between diving, which is where you do the investigations and scans of the marine life, and catching up with the people in the submarine. Kinda like when you're in your ship in Mass Effect and you just go around talking to your teammates. But here it is done in a way that humanizes Mirai. She's not just a passionate researcher, but she has a sister back home who was left taking care of their grandmother, who has dementia. And just from her tone, you can tell that she is torn between wanting to continue her research and wanting to be back home to help her family. Not only so, but the two members of her research team don't get along very well. So her having to make that social navigation between the two teammates on top of everything really makes her feel very real. Heaven knows we've all had to juggle many things in life all at once. Not only is the interaction between the characters pretty neat, but while in the sub you can also see different items lying around every time you get into the sub. And that in itself can tell some sort of narrative, but also show us more about Mirai, like her enjoying poetry, being of Asian descent, having to have pushed some responsibilities to her sister, and so on. It is in the ocean though where the game's main story progresses. Something in the water is disturbing the whales and Mirai wants to discover what that is. That said, it's not a very long game. In fact, it is quite short. You can beat the game in about 2.5 hours. But nothing stops you from just taking longer to take in everything in the ocean, or maybe just explore, or even marvel at it all. There are also some real life, at least I think it is, short documentary cuts in this tablet here that you can watch. I actually enjoyed this one quite a bit, and it took me by surprise because though I do like nature/animal documentaries, I often dislike educational games. But there being a separation in the gameplay between diving and the submarine parts, and there actually being several layers to the narrative, and heck, there just actually being a narrative, it does make this feel more like an actual game rather than just an educational one. And despite having seen at least one bug of a group of sharks being frozen in place, for the most part this game does feel very well made, and was honestly left feeling like it was a bit too short, and that I wanted a little more. But anyways, if you have 2.5 hours to spare one day and don't know what to play, this could be a very relaxing and chill game to try out. Yep, so as you can see, it is working completely fine on the Rog Ally, as expected. It's not a very demanding game, so obviously it was gonna work fine on the Z1 Extreme. And what I was mostly wanting to see was how well controller integration was in this. And it's pretty good, you know, it's very intuitive, nothing too crazy about it. And as you can see, it does go pretty well. FPS is at 24, but it is because I am on silent mode. If we change it to 15, yeah, it will go up to 37, 40, and it is running a lot smoother now. So yeah, even at 15 it does play quite well, nothing too crazy. But even on silent at 10, it wasn't too bad. At least I didn't think so. Oh, it did slow down quite a bit now.
Want to hear something cool? So do I.
Yeah, so maybe 10 mods wasn't the best idea, but at 15 it definitely does things pretty well. But yeah, on the joysticks, the right joystick moving around, it's a lot better, a lot more intuitive than doing it with the mouse. It actually moves towards where I move the stick. So it's much better to play this on a controller, it seems, than it is with a keyboard and mouse. With the mouse, it wasn't just inverted. You will move to the left, and at a certain point, it would flip and turn back and up and down. It was pretty weird. It was pretty wild to do this with a mouse, but on the controller, it seems it's pretty good. So even if you do play it on a desktop, maybe consider playing on a controller. It will make it feel less frustrating when you do zoom in for the scans. But yeah, even on a smaller screen, it does look pretty good. I do think this would be good to play on a handheld in bed before going to sleep. I think it's pretty calming and chill to play before going to bed. The serene environment, just the open blue ocean. I think it's fantastic. I do like it quite a bit. So yeah, definitely a good option to play on the handheld. But like I said, we did have to put this on 15 on performance mode. So I don't think it will run on the GPD. I don't really see the point in trying with the GPD Win 1. As you saw in the last video, it did shut down because it overheated, even with undying. So I don't think it would be a good idea to try with this. I don't want to make it a habit for the GPD Win 1 to keep shutting down by overheat. So maybe we'll only try things that are quite old or very visually not demanding, you know? And as simple and small as Beyond Blue is, it is graphically decent, you know? It is pretty to look at. And like I said, it is rendering in a lot of different things that are moving at once. I assume that is why even in performance mode, we only get around 30 FPS. So I don't think it would be a good idea to try with the GPD Win 1. But yeah, on any x86 devices like the Rog Ally, this will probably run great, and it will probably be a good experience. Anyway, that's what I had to show and tell you, nerds. I know I didn't show my GPD Win 1 on this one, but having it shut down from overheating in the previous video made me think that maybe I won't try every game on that, and just maybe try the really light ones. So for the foreseeable future, I will be testing these games out with just my desktop and the Rog Ally, unless the free game is a really old one or a very light one, and maybe some 2D indie games depending on how things go. Anyway, leave a like if you enjoyed this video, consider helping out the channel by clicking on the join down below, subscribe to see more videos like this and of other collection of videos that I make in the channel, and as per usual, always nerd on.